Hello everybody, welcome to the Old Gold and Black for this tactic masterclass. Obviously being quite sarcastic, I'm not a football expert at all, but I've watched an awful lot of football, particularly over the last couple of years, and observed Wolves very, very closely. And over the last couple of weeks, I think to me it's become obvious that Wolves lack a sort of plan B during a game. And I expect, well, if I was Nuno, I'd be doing a lot of tinkering and experimenting now for these last few games of the season, and hoping that, you know, he's been criticised that we haven't got a plan B. Well, he can prove that we have and stuff in the next couple of weeks. So I was having a little look earlier on at our sort of options and our squad and who could play where and possible different options. Now, every single game that we've had Nuno for, he's played with three centre-backs, and he's come under some criticism in the last couple of weeks for that, particularly against the smaller teams. And I think people tend to sort of agree that that is the reason why we can't break these teams down, because we're playing with three centre-backs. That was particularly obvious in the game against Brighton when Conor Cody had very, very little to do. We didn't concede a foul all through the game because we didn't have any opportunity to, because we had so much possession. So I was thinking, how can we improve this? So let's take the Fulham game as this example, because I think for the bigger games against Liverpool and against Arsenal, I think you can't really experiment in those games. With the Arsenal game, we've still got 7th to play for, likewise the Watford game, but the Fulham game for me is the chance to experiment. So this is what I would suggest that could be done for that game. First of all, I would be taking Cody out of this position here, and I'd be bringing these two a little bit closer in. Now, I watched Barcelona the other night against Manchester United in the Champions League, and Busquets was sort of playing this role that Cody was here. And when they had possession, he was into the midfield and joining in attacks and stuff there. But then when they were under pressure, he dropped back and they played with three at the back, which I think we need to become more adaptable. We need to be able to do that better, I think. So for that game, I'm actually going to take Cody out, and I'm going to play Dendoncker in that position, because he's got this reputation of being able to play centre-back or in midfield, and we've seen him do really, really well as a box-to-box sort of midfielder. Now, I know that this is sacrilege, and you're not allowed to do this as a Wolves fan, but I'm actually going to take Cody out of the team for this game, and I'm going to put in Romain Saiss, because I think he's got more legs. I think he's a better ball player than Cody, and I think he'd be able to suit this system a little bit better. Now, Neves is the next person that has come under some criticism recently, saying that he's just not in games, he's too deep, he's not getting involved in stuff much. So I'm going to swap him with Moutinho. Moutinho's been sort of playing this slightly forward role than before. I want to see Neves doing it. We do see Moutinho really pressing the opposition's defence and forcing them to gain possession. But for me, Neves, I think, could be far more creative from that further forward role, and he can drop back into this when we're not in possession, when we're under threat, or he can. I think he can help support Jota and Jimenez a little bit more from this role here. Moutinho has got to be in the team, and as has Jota and Jimenez. For me, though, the wing backs, they're such an important part of our team, and we don't play if we don't have the wing backs. But for me, Doherty has not been in good form recently. Johnny, I think it's a little bit of a myth that he's not good going forward. I just think that when he does come forward on the left-hand side of the pitch, because he's right-footed, Neves automatically looks for the pass to the right anyway. It doesn't really look for the pass to the left, and when Johnny does get it, he has to come inside, which means that quite often Jota will come out to here and look for the ball there, which is not the best option. So I would go for this. I would be playing Johnny on the right-hand side, and I want to see more of Ruben Vinagre on the left-hand side. We've seen a lot of Doherty. He's had a very, very good season. Have I spelled Vinagre right? I'm not sure. But yeah, I want to see Vinagre, particularly if we're thinking about the Fulham game, we're thinking about their deficiencies in defence, we want to get amongst it and we want to make things happen as much as we can. And Vinagre, I think, would be able to do that. Now, to me, this looks a far more fluid system. I think it's a little bit more... I think you're still keeping that defence because, again, if the team are really struggling, they're coming under pressure. If Mitrovic is causing all sorts of trouble for our defenders, then Saïss or Dendoncker could drop back, and you can quickly transition into a sort of formation that they're very, very familiar with anyway. But we have to move away from this three at the back, for me, particularly against the teams that are down the bottom of the table, that we should be getting points off that we don't at the moment. And to me, this, I think, would be able to do it. This position, this Neves position here, is the most important because, particularly against these teams, because we don't move the ball quickly enough. If you've got Moutinho, you've got Dendoncker, Moutinho and Neves, who are very, very good ball players in different areas or different phases of the pitch, then you've got the quick movement in between players, which we haven't had recently. But yeah, it's not a revolutionary change. I think it's just a slight tweak. Nuno is a very, very defensively minded manager anyway, and I think he needs to start moving away from that when he's against these smaller teams that tend to pack the midfield and sit back and don't affect us defensively. I think we need to be able to transition quickly into a formation like this, yet still be able to to transition, if we are under threat, to a very, very similar formation to that we already play. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed that kind of a video, and I can go through it again for other games or other teams' tactics or what have you. And subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy. Thanks, bye!